Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Case24. So for our case, we were presented with a 14-year-old female intact goat who lived in a herd of approximately 30 mixed breed goats out on the Colorado Front Range. This goat presented with mouth breathing, very smelly discharge from both nostrils, and there were similar sporadic cases throughout the herd. This goat slowly and progressively got worse. And just for your husbandry notes, this goat was kept indoors at night and during the winter months. We developed a number of differentials for this case. We'll go over those now. The first of those was ENTV2, or an enzootic nasal tumor virus 2. This is a retrovirus that causes epithelial tumors in goats, and it is often fatal. Another option was an anaplastic sarcoma, so a tumor of mesenchymal origin. Estrus ovis was another option, which is something that you should recognize from parasitology as the sheep nasal bot. A foreign body, a stick or browsing material becoming lodged in the nose, was a potential option. A hemangiosarcoma, another mesenchymal tumor, but this one associated with blood vessels. And then lastly, a radon-induced nasal tumor. And we included this one because Colorado has extremely high levels of radon in all of its counties. So over time, there could be the potential for tumor development. In this lovely picture, you can see our necropsy findings. This tumor was a very invasive hemorrhagic tumor that occluded the entire nasal passageway of this poor goat. We did some histology on this tumor and found poorly differentiated cells with a variety of different sizes of nuclei. The cells were many different shapes, there were mitotic figures, and there was abnormal chromatin patterns. These definitely suggested to us that this was in fact a tumor. We performed immunohistochemistry on this tumor and stained it with two different stains, a cytokeratin stain and a vimentin stain. Cytokeratin stands for epithelial cells, whereas vimentin stands for cells of a mesenchymal origin. As you can see by comparing our stains to the controls, this tumor stained positive for vimentin, suggesting that it is a tumor of mesenchymal origin. We were able to rule out one of our top differentials, which was ENTV2, the retrovirus that causes epithelial tumors, because this is a mesenchymal, not an epithelial tumor. We could further run a PCR to see if there was any virus present, but this pretty definitively tells us that it is mesenchymal, not epithelial. Because of this, we were able to come up with the diagnosis of an anaplastic sarcoma of the nasal cavity. The bullets below just give a brief recap of why that is. The pathogenesis for this tumor may have started in a number of different ways, including a cyst, a polyp, or a progressive ethmoid hematoma. This tumor, as it expanded, got to a point where it would likely fully occlude the nasal passageway, resulting in facial deformities, mouth breathing, respiratory distress, the smelly mucopurulent discharge from both nostrils that we saw when our goat presented, and it would ultimately lead to death. Depending on the degree of hemorrhage, the tumor could also cause anemia, and there would be increased potential for bacterial infections, aspiration pneumonia, and other secondary issues. The prognosis for this tumor is unfortunately quite poor, due to the fact that its anatomic location puts it close to the meninges, great vessels, the base of the skull, and other areas that are very surgically sensitive. Small ruminants don't typically do very well under anesthesia, so this goat was euthanized. We have a few multiple choice questions for you. You are capable of reading them yourselves, but just briefly, our first one, we would like to know what you think the best classification for the tumors caused by ENTV2, the retrovirus, would be. And for our second question, we would like to know if you have a tumor that stains positive for vimentin, what is the most accurate tumor classification? Here are our references, and please feel free to ask us any questions you might have. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your time.